All right, everybody, it's my first video on my channel. I want to give you some advice, things that I learned, maybe to help you out. I've been training for about 23 years. And so the first thing I want to talk to you about is intensity. Because one of the things that I notice in the gym is almost no one has the intensity necessary to build the body they keep telling me they want. They're like, listen, I want to look like this guy. And here's the thing, a lot of times it's actually possible if they would just follow through with the training. Now, of course, you have to deal with the eating and anabolics, we can get into that too. But what I notice is people have the hardest time going to complete muscular failure and putting themselves through what a lot of people would consider hell to get this amazing physique that they really want. So here's my opinion, right? The way Dorian had it explained to him, because I take a lot from Dorian, was that Mike Mentzer had told him, listen, if you have a stick of dynamite and you hit it with a pencil 100 times, 1,000 times, 100,000 times, it's never gonna blow up. But if you hit it one time with a hammer, it's gonna go off. Now, not the best analogy, but pretty good. It gets the point across that, listen, hit as hard as possible, as few times as possible, and just get the job done. So first off, we have to start talking about connection. Without the proper connection in the muscle, you're not gonna be able to train it properly. So the most important thing when you're starting off, and I know it's cliche, is literally getting your form right, okay? Learning how to lift the weight properly. And then we can talk about intensifiers, we're gonna get to that. The second thing is having the correct form after you have the connection and using the adequate amount of weight necessary to maintain the form and maintain your connection. All of these things are important. So for me personally, give you an example on the leg extension. I'll start with the 70-pound plate and then I go up 2 plates from there. 70 pounds will be 30 reps, the next one will be 25, so it'll be 70, 110, 150, 190, 230, and then I'll put a 45 on the stack, okay? I'll go typically 30, 25, 20, 15, 12, 8, or whatever I get once I put the 45 on, right? Now, my whole point in doing all of those sets is to get enough blood in the muscle so that when I get to my maximum weight, I can still keep the connection. Because this is something I have an issue with, is that if I go into heavyweight right away, I don't actually feel it. You could watch me lift it, but there is no tension in the muscle. So, and this leads to a very important point, the feeling. When you're training your muscle, not lifting weights, not getting stronger, when you're training your muscle, the goal is to put the maximum amount of stress safely on the muscle that you can, no matter how you do it. It's fucking irrelevant. So the next step is making sure we go to complete muscular failure. So we can talk about isometric and eccentric forms of failure, but let's just talk about concentric. If you can at the very least go to momentary muscular failure in the concentric portion, you're good. That's what kicks on the fucking growth, okay? And so once you are able to follow through and get to failure, okay? If, for example, you aren't able to get it on that last set. So say, for example, we get all the way up, we put the 45 on the stack, and for some reason I just didn't feel right, okay? Then do what you gotta do to fix it, right? If you gotta do another set at that weight, great. If you gotta kick the 45 off and do another set to really lock it in, do it. But if you fucking did it on that last set, stop. Do not add junk volume and junk workout training to your protocol because it's just gonna make things worse. So controlled rest. A lot of people say when you train for size and say for if you're cutting or whatever, trying to lose body fat, it's the same, which is true, it can be the same. Me personally, I like to do higher reps, pretty much the same weights, maybe kick the back up 10, 20%, and higher reps. And even if I have to go in a very short range of motion, I do that. Now, here's what I'm talking about with controlled rest. We're talking about rest in between sets. When I'm cutting, here's how I determine my rest. As soon as I can breathe, I start my next set. So if I go from that's when the fuck I start my next set. When I'm trying to get bigger, I take more time. Now, I will always look on my clock to make sure I'm not overdoing the time, right? I don't want to like sit there for 3 minutes, 4 minutes when 2 minutes would have done the job. But I give myself the adequate time to do what I need to do. Final thing, make the session as brief as possible. But to be fair, if you do all these things right, you're gonna end up with a brief session anyway. So if I can just talk about really quickly the soul of this, right? And I don't know if I mentioned this in the beginning, but I'll tell you now. I have only known maybe 5 to 7 people, if I just think off the top of my head, in 23 years that have been able to have the intensity necessary to get the body they tell me they want. I have trained so many people, they get so fucking geeked up, and then when it actually comes to doing it, the reality hits them like, holy shit, I don't know if I actually want what I say I want. And so that's another thing you might have to wrap your head around. If you can't do this on your own, try to get with somebody who could do it for you. And go into the gym with them. Find somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing and see if, and just be kind to them and tell them, hey, I want to take it to the next level. I don't know what the fuck to do. Will you please help me? And if that person helps you and they can teach you what intensity is, then you can take that further. Sometimes people need to understand where to go because they don't even know what they're capable of. I'll tell you one other story and then I'll end this video. I remember when I first started training with the guy that really helped me the most. His name was Mose. Great fucking guy. So I was training with him and my buddy Abdul. And I remember one of the first workouts we did, he sat the 30 pound, 40 pound, and 50 pound easy curl bars, the ones that are already preset, right, on the ground. And he said, I want you to do 50, 50, and 50. And my buddy, I didn't say anything. My buddy Abdul was like, I can't do it. Immediately, the first thing he said. And Mose was like, no man, you're gonna do it. And let me tell you, we had to cheat it. We had to fucking kick it up. But we got all those fucking reps, man. And after that happened, my buddy Abdul said, wow, you knew better what I can do than I knew what I can do. And that is an important fucking lesson no one ever teaches you or talks to you about in a video. So, if you got any questions, let me know. I'm more than happy to fucking help. I don't charge for anything. I probably will never charge for anything because I just do this because I want to do it, I enjoy it. So if you want any help, and here's my only caveat, I will fucking help you if you help yourself. I will help you for free if you will actually do the work. And the reason I'm willing to say that is because just like I told you, I've met 6 people, maybe 8 in my entire life that can do this. So can I handle maybe 6 to 8 people that might need some help? Sure. So anyway, I hope that treats you well. I hope that's good. I'll get you some more non-sexy gym advice soon. Cheers.